Hello and welcome back, Retard Nation. I am your host, Awesome Mike. First things first, my honest opinion on The Punisher. One last kill. I didn't like it. It wasn't terrible, but it definitely could have been a lot better. In my view, the special would have been stronger if Frank had gone directly after the Nucci crime family instead of dealing with the aftermath. And yeah, that bad CGI. It's honestly the only time I ever complain about CGI, because I normally don't care about it at all. But this one stood out. All right, let's get into it. I'm turning it over to Rocky Dennis to explain why The Punisher. One last kill is anti-white propaganda.
You tar, retard nation. Me tar, you tar, retard nation. Me tar, you tar, retard nation.
So if you're one of the people out there who had no time for Jon Bernthal's Jewish Punisher, then you can pat yourself on the back, because the brand new Punisher special presentation is pure unadulterated anti-white slop. I didn't watch the piece of shit, and I'm not planning to, because—
Wait, what? You didn't even watch the special and you're already saying you're not going to see it? So how can you have an opinion on it? If you haven't watched it, how do you know it's anti-white? Are you a professional critic or just another YouTube rage bait channel? You can't criticize something you haven't even watched.
with the response of, you didn't even watch it, but once again, without being arrogant, I was proven correct. And it's—
To get the full story and form an informed opinion, you actually need to watch or read the thing you're criticizing. That's how you stay honest and analytical about the media. Are you even a real YouTube review channel? And no, you weren't proven right. In what way exactly?
released yet doesn't mean that it can't be pure trash. Like the up-and-coming Spider-Man Brand New Day that has this fake Jewish Punisher once again.
Mother.
Go home!
It's
Jon Bernthal was born in Washington, D.C., so shut your anti-Semitic ass up.
gonna suck. It's gonna be woke. It's not gonna be Spider-Man, and it's not gonna be Frank Castle.
Friendly name.
Spider-Man's Brand New Day is going to be woke. And honestly, good. Great. Spider-Man should be alert and actively attentive to issues of racial and social injustice. That's what a real superhero does. Calling Bernthal's Punisher or Haller's Spider-Man woke as an insult is ridiculous, because it actually makes them more comic book accurate. By the way, in all your videos you never properly explained your reasoning for claiming Bernthal's Punisher and Haller's Spider-Man aren't comic accurate, while the people debunking you actually lay out their case with that, prove that there are.
Two Marvel Comics characters that all of these movies and TV shows just avoid at all costs. They can't ever adapt them properly.
Can you actually prove it? Show me the evidence. Where does Haller's Spider-Man do something un-Spider-Man-like? Or where does Bernthal's Punisher stop being the Punisher?
And me, along with all of the other people who stuck up their middle finger to this fake Punisher, this corporate Marvel Disney garbage. I'm not just doing it out of the blue, I'm doing it because I've read entire Punisher comic runs from the 80s and 90s, and I don't have time for some retarded Jew running around pretending to be the Punisher.
Are you retarded? Acting is literally play pretend, so that's not the insult you think it is. And calling an actor who plays a version of a comic character you don't like fake is a complete oxymoron.
Pretty simple. So all this stuff of, oh, there's a fake comic book fan and there's somebody who has never read comics who is just hating on something and calling it woke. No.
So you finally confessed it. You're a fake fan using comic books to make rage bait videos.
I can call out Absolute Batman for being complete woke shit that race swaps and changes characters for the worse.
This video is about how the Punisher is anti-white, but all you've done is expose yourself as fake reviewer. You went on a full rant about Absolute Batman because your fifis are still hurt after Batman beat up a group of Nazis, and you're still butthurt over one race swap.
Batman. This isn't rage bait or lying or grifting for attention and views.
That's exactly what's happening. You made a 9-minute video about a TV special you didn't even watch, and you came up with a dumb clickbait title claiming that the whole thing is anti-white propaganda.
It's just me speaking my mind, and what I'm thinking on the Punisher One Last Kill is that it's retarded. And there's clips going viral from this fake Punisher propaganda piece, but we'll get to that in a second, because first we have to cover the atrocious
Yes, the CGI in that one scene sucks. Everyone's talking about it, woke or non-woke. We all agree that scene is terrible. And don't tell me your only evidence that this special is anti-white is the scene where the Punisher saves a colored couple from a white neo-Nazi who deserved to die, especially since that same guy killed a homeless veteran's dog right at the beginning.
looking Down syndrome CGI. Frank Castle is supposed to be a badass cool guy character based off of pulp hero.
Can you please give any real evidence to prove that Jon Bernthal's Punisher isn't a badass? Because the man is an absolute menace on screen. The hallway fight in Daredevil Season 2, the brutal prison beatdowns, the way he delivers cold one-liners while covered in blood. That's peak Punisher. He feels like a walking war zone. If you can't see that, you might just not like the character.
Bernthal is some gay moron who complains about—
Yeah, Jon Bernthal is gay. Rocky, even though he's been married to Kurt Angle's niece, Erin Angle, for 16 years. Go ahead and show your favorite picture of him holding a trans flag with a fan. Why does any of this matter? If he's gay and supports trans rights, who cares? Please explain how that affects his acting or his ability to play the Punisher. You're just nitpicking because you didn't even watch the TV special.
some gay moron who complains about toxic masculinity all the time.
No, Jon Bernthal does not complain about toxic masculinity all the time. He's spoken thoughtfully about masculinity, violence, anger, fatherhood, and emotional vulnerability. He's also a strong advocate for men's mental health, especially for veterans and fighters. Wait a minute. So you're saying he shouldn't play the Punisher because he isn't a badass in real life? First off, I'm not saying Bernthal isn't a badass. But even if he weren't, that argument makes zero sense. He's an actor. By that logic, no one could ever play killers, soldiers, superheroes, or criminals unless they've actually lived that life. The whole point of acting is to convince the audience you are the character. And Bernthal clearly nailed it. That's exactly why so many fans consider his Punisher one of the best adaptations of the character.
Acts like a black person, but is Jewish, playing Italian characters. It's one massive cluster.
I'm going to fast forward past you repeating yourself. I'll repeat my question. Where's the real evidence that Jon Bernthal's Punisher isn't a comic book accurate take? You complain that he's acting black in some scenes. Okay, even if he is, it's still a damn solid comic book adaptation.
Here went viral, and it's saying something that's just a fact. It's not a
Finally, we got to the actual point of the video, the clickbait title payoff. So now explain why One Last Kill is supposedly anti-white propaganda. Please tell us, Rocky.
lie or rage bait or some right-wing fantasy. It's literally what they're trying to make.
I argue that white people have embraced victimhood so deeply that they see a story about a white veteran like the Punisher brutally taking down criminals and somehow twisted into anti-white propaganda. It's the same mindset that leads them to defend or downplay the worst behavior in their own group.
Make you believe. So the final moment of this Punisher special, where he finally wears the skull and finally actually does something that the Punisher would do, is one of the most handicapped, blatant, anti-white pieces of propaganda.
You're happy with Jon Bernthal's Punisher out there, saving people and executing bad guys, until the bad guy is white. Then you cry anti-white. You said neo-Nazis don't actually do this stuff in real life. Tell that to the victims of the 2019 Phoenix interracial couple murder by a neo-Nazi, the 2022 Buffalo supermarket shooting, the 2023 Jacksonville Dollar General shooting, and the neo-Nazi-linked hate crimes still occurring in 2026. We should focus on the crime, not the race of the criminal. The scene shows a brutal attack. That's what deserves outrage. Frank Castle, the Punisher, doesn't care about skin color. He kills threats to innocent people. Making everything about anti-white propaganda distracts from the real issue, stopping violent crime.
I've said many times on this channel, and it offends a lot of handicapped people, the only thing that actually happens is the other way around. And it happens every single day in a country like America.
You serious?
As a white American, I live in constant fear for my life due to my race, said no one rational. I'm bisexual and intellectually disabled. Those are actual concerns for me. This narrative that white people should be terrified of racial attacks is pure exaggerated victimhood.
In this Disney-produced fake Punisher is going around with a Jew-fro coming 10 feet off.
Bro, that's not a Jew-fro. A real Jew-fro is that full, fluffy, tight-curled afro puff. Jon Bernthal has some curls and waves, sure. The man can style his hair a million ways. But calling his current look a Jew-fro is a stretch.
Like a badass in the final shot, pulling this big macho face, when all I can do is just laugh at it because it's not the Punisher and it's not one bit real. Characters.
Is that what you want? Jon Bernthal's Punisher being a badass? Then you should be happy. That's exactly what he is.
Reflection of the public's hatred towards people like the Zodiac Killer or the
You want politics in your art? You love pointing out how old comics and movies reflected real-world issues. But when it's a message you don't like, suddenly you're an anti-woke purist who hates politics in entertainment. The hypocrisy is obvious.
Bottom line, Jon Bernthal's Punisher is a white veteran acting as a straight-up badass, taking down criminals of every race. We should be angry at the crime and violence, not fixated on the attacker's skin color. You love politics and art when it aligns with your views and old. Comics reflected real life, but suddenly oppose it. When you dislike the message, just let the Punisher be the Punisher.